A lot of crypto seems almost a little tribal in terms of it's this way and it can only work this way. Where do you think that comes from, and why aren't other projects being as intellectually, I don't know, honest? Or is it just that it's much harder and you guys have just chosen the harder path? How do you think about that?
I mean, it's combination. I think it is harder to some extent to do a lot of this stuff. Like our account model is, to design for user experience, you need to like actually make a more complex system underneath, right? And then hide it in such a way that people actually can understand it, right? Like making sure that languages work is actually super hard. I think, I mean, kind of, for example, for Ethereum, this wasn't an option. There was actually nothing worked back then, and so they invented DVM, and that was kind of and like the thing about to understand is also you're kind of under constant pressure to actually launch, and so you don't always make good decisions because like you kind of need to execute faster, and so and then changing later is super complicated. And then a lot of people just replicated EVM. And so kind of in our case, we also did that, but we did that as just a smart contract, as something that's completely outside of the core protocol. So it actually runs and actually showcases how easy it is to develop on Near because you can take something else, some other blockchain, and just run it as a smart contract. Part of it is also, I think people view some of the use cases, but also decisions on what blockchain is for differently, right? Like in our case, we came from like, hey, we want to build end user like actual applications, right? Which are able to use by, so somebody did build in a community a crowdsourcing application called NearCrowd, which has like 3,000 daily active users, which are not technical. They are not engineers, they're not blockchain specialists. They're literally like people from factories and people who work at service industry in Philippines. And it's very kind of broad, non-technical, or like some kids like under 14, and there's like somebody's grandma was using it as well. And that's just not usually the kind of mental model that a lot of folks are designing for. And we were kind of designing for that. And so yeah, so a lot of it is just like people think, oh, smart contract developers should be, this elite kind of limited thing. So we will design a new programming language, for example, for them specifically. It's fine if there's only like 500 of them needed, they can learn the programming language. Which again, like we don't agree. Like we see this really as this like Cambrian explosion of experimentation on top because everybody can combine with everything, and so we want everyone to be able to do this. We want every single developer to be able to write smart code. Maybe they will not, maybe they reuse existing code, but then they need to be able to read existing code, right? And this goes into like, well, we want actually people to be able to read the code because that's what, the whole reliance on that is. And so, yeah, like how do we make it more kind of available is like a very different decision making, right, than some of the other protocols.